Hey everybody, Ed here. Today, sort of because of a last minute scheduling change for another sales executive, I asked Nicole like late last evening if she wanted to step in, Nicole Biczkowski from our marketing team, and be interviewed for the podcast. She had no time to prepare. She didn't really know what to say, and I decided that sort of like between Two Ferns, I was going to come up with a bunch of questions to just mess with her, to just see. She has no idea what I'm going to do, but the whole point is I want to just see how far I can push her with some goofy questions and just mess around with her a little bit. And then after we're done with that, I'm sure we'll get into a real conversation so we can learn more about what she does and who she is. But just a heads up that that's what's going to be going on here in just a second. Well, we're here today with Nicole Biczkowski, Director of Product Strategy and Lunch for RE/MAX Results. So let me ask you, do you do more product strategy or lunch? And follow up, where's my lunch?
I like to do lunch at least 5 to 7 times a week. So I would say more lunch than product strategy, yeah.
So
yeah.
Between product strategy and lunch, you do more lunch.
Yes. Yep.
Than
in
the
fact,
rest of your work.
When I talk to agents, I tell them, if you want me to come to your office, just tell me there's going to be food.
Okay.
And I will 100% be there.
All right. Now, what is it about lunch that draws you, how is that fulfilling for you as a career choice?
Lunch?
Lunch.
I feel like that's a very obvious answer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You don't find food fulfilling?
Well, I don't get paid for food. Are you a chef?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No, I'm a professional eater. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How does that support sales executives to be?
I find a lot of relationships can really be built over meals. You might have noticed that. Do you do any work meetings ever over meals?
I don't eat lunch.
Oh.
I eat 11 small bites of an apple throughout the course of a day. It helps to maintain catharsis.
Yeah.
Or catharsis. I've never really done any research on the diet, but I read it. I saw a Facebook post about it. I didn't really read it, but
you heard the word once and you were like, this is it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Yeah. I feel like I've learned a lot about you.
Yeah. I'm still learning things about you. So now, do I have that right? That's your title?
Director of Product Strategy and Launch.
Launch.
Yes, launch. Yeah.
Okay, moving on from that conversation. I'm not really prepared to do. Okay, so where are you from?
I'm from Brooklyn Park, Minnesota.
Really?
Yeah.
And how long were you a child there?
I was a child there for approximately 18 years.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then when you became a non-child, then what did you do?
I became an adult.
Right. And as an adult, did you do stuff?
I'm doing stuff right now. Yeah. So when I graduated high school, I went to University of Wisconsin, River Falls. After 2 years at a community college, I graduated with a bachelor's in fine arts, double major in graphic design and marketing communications, with a minor in glassblowing.
So when you decided to go to River Falls, did you not consider going to the Superior School of UW-Eau Claire? That's where I went, and we always looked, down upon those River Falls Falcons a little bit.
So I'm learning that you're an elitist?
I don't know what that means.
Well, you do live in Edina, so that's fair. But no, I never considered that area. Oh.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about glass blowing.
Yeah. Okay. Super relevant to my job.
At what temperature is the best conductive?
You're making this all up. You have no idea where you're going.
Yeah, well, because I had 11 questions about lunch, and it turns out it's launch. So help me out here.
I feel like it's a failure on research on your part.
It's a typo. These things happen.
I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
But just to be clear, I was never good at glassblowing. I just had enough credits for a minor. So, yeah.
So, did you ever burn yourself?
Yes.
Yeah. Got any cool scars?
No.
Oh, then it doesn't seem like you really burned yourself.
I'm sorry. Failure to lunch.
Okay, so how long have you been with RE/MAX Results?
I've been here 9 years.
Have you always been doing product strategy?
No. I was actually hired as the assistant to the co-owner at the time, Marshall Saunders. I actually met with Brenda, who's general manager at the time, had lunch with her on a Friday. She told Lynn Pham, who was acting as assistant for Marshall and John, to get an interview with me and Marshall. I interviewed with Marshall on Monday. I actually had 5 other interviews with a different company that same day. And in the middle of that, I interviewed with Marshall for max 20 minutes. And the next day he called me, offered me a job. I said, okay, yes. And he was like, wow, really? Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. And then I started on Wednesday. Then we went to R4 the following Sunday and I flew out to Vegas. That's about it.
I mean, 5 interviews and you say I'm elitist.
I mean, I didn't go with that job. I interviewed with Marshall for 20 minutes. So.
Did you hang that over his head too?
No. Marshall left 9 months later and I got moved into marketing.
Okay. The definition of launch means to set sail a boat in motion by pushing it or allowing it to roll into water, or to send into the air a missile, satellite, or spacecraft into course or orbit, or to hurl something forcefully. So do you spend more of your time launching things by air or by sea?
Ooh. Based off of our location, I think primarily by air.
Interesting.
Honestly, it's usually by email. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's you're quick on your toes. Okay. All right. So just to be clear, I had planned this ahead of time to get you, and I was gonna see, but you seem to know what was coming. But nice job.
I had no preparation.
Nice job.
Literally got an email and a text message, and that was it. And I was here. So.
All right. So okay, let's take a step back. So what do you really do?
That's the question. I like to call myself a wannabe. I want to be in marketing, I want to be in IT, and I want to be in training. I also have this really annoying habit of having too many questions. So that's how I've gotten where I am. I was in the marketing department. I was doing graphic design and marketing consultations. And then we split our department as it grew to just do design or marketing. And then we've continued to grow. And so when I say I'm a wannabe, when I learn about a new product, I want to know the ins and outs of it. So I can help support our training team. Becky and Kristen are phenomenal. But then I also, if something goes wrong, I want to know why. I'm like really annoying like that. So I find out what went wrong. And that way, if IT has questions or if they can help explain things, like we work together on that.
Yeah.
But then for our marketing department, I figure out how those tools can be integrated into their businesses and how they can use them. Really what the goal of it is. So our training and IT do a great job of, this is what it is, this is how you use it, but like, how do you actually put it to use for you? And that's what the marketing part is.
Yeah, and I feel like one of the things that we do interact, you're always sending me new contracts to look at because we're signing up with a new vendor or something like that, and I usually read them.
It's great to hear. Same.
But the idea is, it seems like you're always have the finger on the pulse of like what the next thing is going to be, right?
Yeah, the goal is really to always take a look at what we offer and finding any gaps. So if we notice that we don't have this, but we have too many of this, trying to streamline it, because we want our agents to be able to use what we offer in a way that makes sense. And they're not all going to use it. That's one of the things that when I meet with agents, I tell them, you're not going to use every tool that we offer because there is going to be redundancy. But we want to offer as much as we can that makes sense for them.
And I think it's hard for agents sometimes to even know what they need, right? But that would be part of the value of just sitting down with you and just kind of going over big picture. This is what I'm trying to get towards, and this is where like my trouble spots are or my pain points are, and then just to bounce some ideas off of you. You're not just saying you should put a logo here, right? It's more holistic than that.
Yeah. So the other benefit of me working so closely with all the departments is if somebody has a goal in mind, then I can tell them how we can figure it out to get there. But sometimes they're just like, I don't know where to go. Where do I start? Like, what do I even have? And so even earlier today, I met with somebody and I was like, these are all the tools that we offer. And this is a lot. Like, I usually stick to 1 hour meetings. We can meet up again. We can follow up. I've been doing a lot of monthly accountability meetings with people because we'll talk about what their marketing plan is. And then we'll set goals for what they need to have done for the next month, whether it be adding contacts to a system or finding a CRM that makes sense, whatever makes sense for their business. We have 1,300 sales executives, and nobody is running their business the exact same way. So we figure out what makes sense for them.
Right, because I think I don't know. I think that's the interesting thing about from a broker's perspective is you try to cast the wide net, but you know nobody uses all the tools. Nobody should.
Yep.
If you're using all the tools that we offer, we'd be spending all your time doing that, and not selling any houses.
Exactly.
Right. So there's things that you use to supplement what you normally do, and to generate your business, having a CRM or something else like that.
Exactly. Right? And their goals are different. That's one of the things is people always think their goals mean like, oh, I want to double production, I want to do this. No, if you have a new child, maybe you need to figure out a way to streamline your time and balance it better. So maybe an assistant makes sense, or having a better CRM so it automatically sends out those emails. Things like that, so that you don't need to worry so much and you have a better opportunity for balancing things. The goals don't always have to be linear, and they're not going to be. And that's one of the things that we go over.
Okay. Cool. So when you're not being a annoying, want to know it all, whatever. What do you do? What do you do in your spare time?
I have 2 kids. I don't have spare time.
How old are they?
Hayden is 3, and Eloise is just over 1.
Ooh. Okay. So, that's interesting. That sounds exhausting.
It is exhausting. I have a 3-nager who, just like every parent, I think my kid's the smartest kid ever. Also the cutest kid ever, but I'm not wrong. So he's a doting big brother. He's great. But yeah, we're definitely dealing with him testing boundaries right now.
Yeah, because this whole terrible 2 thing,
that's
is false.
nothing. Yeah, no, it's the 3-nager.
Psychotic 3.
Psychotic 3
is way worse than the terrible 2.
Yeah.
Because when they're 2, I feel like you can still kind of trick them or use this parenting tactics, and they figure it out. But when they're 3, they know what you're doing.
They know,
but they can't articulate what they want, but then they just throw down.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It's going to be a learning curve. The first 2 years, you're just keeping them alive. Like you're making sure that they're healthy, they're on track, you're doing all that stuff, right? But then you have to learn how to be a parent, like raise a good human. And that's the hard part. Is I don't know how to raise a good human.
Well, 95% of it is probably them just observing you. So I think the real question will ultimately be if they wind up being bad humans, who do they learn that from?
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
So
I'll have to
that's the ultimate question.
Yeah, take a good hard look in the mirror.
My kids are terrible, but I put that on my wife. I don't know.
On your wife. Noted. Blame my husband. Yeah. Sorry, Evan.
Yeah. So one of the things that happened last October for Halloween, I believe, you and the rest of the marketing team, put together a pretty awesome, funny video where you all dressed up as the executive team. So whose idea was this, first of all?
It was actually Brenda's idea.
Really?
We were in a marketing meeting that Wednesday, and she was like, this is on your to-do list, dress up as us, as the executive team for Halloween. And we were like, okay. And I was like, well, we're going to have to find somebody else to be me because I'll actually be at a conference. And she was like, what? So then we had to record it on Friday. So we found out Wednesday, afternoon. Thursday, we all went shopping for everything. And Friday, we all came in dressed up. And Brenda knew, but nobody else knew. So we actually have a recording of John running into Courtney, who is dressed as John. And she's mimicking all of his mannerisms, like the hand in the pocket,
it's a great country.
Yep, exactly. Walking around the office, yelling things. She found a full men's suit, and she wore it that day. Did her makeup. And then there's Pearl, who put on a bald cap.
She had great cheekbones. I felt like she did a really good job.
Oh, she did a fantastic job. And then Mitch dressed like Ed, and that was very easy. That was honestly the easy. He was like, I just wore everything I had from home. Pearl wore a bald cap to be Ed. And then I was...
To be Mike.
To be Mike, I'm sorry. And then I was Brenda, so I stood on a milk crate, because obviously there was a bit of a difference in our heights. Only 1.5 feet. So I stood on a milk crate for the photos, and curled my hair just like she does. And,
gotta say, I really appreciated Mitch's impression of me, which was like... like that.
We went to everybody's offices and we like
Yeah.
impersonated them. So Brenda always does voice to text. So I had my phone pretending to voice to text. Sam looks just like Mary already. They have a lot of similarities. So yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
That one I didn't know it was coming, and when it came out, I chuckled pretty good. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Did you ever see the one a couple years ago where we dressed up as the IT department?
No.
That's where that came from.
Okay.
So technically, you're not allowed to wear like Halloween costumes because we, have consumers that we help. So we couldn't like dress up. So we asked IT if we could borrow their polos because they have a actual outfit they have to wear. So we borrowed all of their polos and took over their office. So you literally can see it in the photo on Facebook that they're in the background trying to work as we like are holding up like a mouse and a keyboard, and yeah.
That's awesome. How'd that do on social media?
It went really well.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
I think that's like, I don't know, just one of those things that it's worth it, right? It's fun to do, but it's also like it shows kind of behind the scenes what you guys are all like and everything else. How did you decide? I mean, was it already decided who was going to be who?
No, it was pretty automatic that I would be Brenda because of the milk crate idea. I mean, obviously, you and Mitch is pretty obvious.
Just devastatingly handsome two gentlemen.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And then, yeah, like Sam and Mary were very obvious as well. So then it was up to to the other
Courtney
two.
and Pearl.
Yeah.
Where'd she get a bald cap?
Courtney happened to have one. I don't ask. I don't know.
No.
So at least I think so.
That was I just thought that was brilliant. That was really cool. So hopefully everybody got to rewatch that video and or see it for the first time if you didn't already see it.
Yeah.
So what are you looking ahead? What's on your business calendar in the coming year from either the marketing department or sort of on your agenda as we look ahead?
Yeah, so one of the big ones is KV Core is launching with Remax. So we're anticipating that, preparing on a brokerage level for our ability to support and roll it out to our agents seamlessly and kind of seeing from there. We actually have a partnership which we'll be announcing shortly. It's called Renew by Curbio. Powered by Curbio. It's going to be our white labeled version of Curbio for our agents and for consumers. But yeah.
Okay, that's a good one. I was excited when you sent me the Curbio contract to put that on, just because I feel like there's a temptation for agents to just, I'll take care of it. We want to help out our clients. Many of our people have the liquidity, they're able to invest some cash and they would think they're doing the right thing. And I always warn, they often will reach out to me and say, hey, do you have some language we can put in the contract? And I always warn our agents, you got to really be careful. I appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah.
They just need a few $1,000s to clean up, and obviously they'll receive the return on investment. That's the idea. But what happens if things go sideways? What happens if they don't like your design choices? What happens if it turns out you're a better realtor than you are a general contractor? And by the way, are you a general contractor? There are a bunch of work that you can do without a license.
Yeah.
But that's what's so great about Curbio. You can maintain your role. You can give them access to those resources, but you don't have to put your personal funds on the line and get into a bit of a compromised position that can get ugly. If it works out, it's great. But when things go badly, it gets really nasty really quickly.
Exactly. And not only that, but is it a good use of your time to be doing that on all that management?
True.
Having that project manager on the floor for you, but you stay in touch makes the most sense.
And so walk everyone through, if they haven't done their own research on Curbio, how does that work for consumers?
So Curbio is a tool or a company that allows you to make upgrades and improvements to your home before closing, and then they'll get paid at close. So the benefit is that you don't have to invest the money you may not have, but the biggest benefit is that there is a local project manager that will manage all of the contractors, so you don't need to worry about that either. So, I mean, honestly, having gone through a few renovations on my own, finding a good contractor that is going to get things done on time, that's hard enough as it is. And they already have the resources and materials available, so it's a quick turn time.
Yeah.
So it gives that ability, but it also lets the agent stay in charge because they have a dashboard that they can see, check in, make the time management, that type of thing. And if the clients change their mind and decide to stay after that, they have up to 12 months to pay it off. So.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So
That'll
like,
be cool.
they have those built-in protections. Whereas if you're offering the financing, you have to hope that you're going to be able to get them to pay you back and all of that stuff. So.
All right. Yeah, that'll be exciting. That's coming early,
Soon.
So maybe by the time people are hearing this, it'll already be launched.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
it's going to be a fast launch.
Awesome. Well, I always like to kind of ask at the end of this: is there anyone besides me that you'd like to honor and give thanks to, who's sort of been instrumental in where you got to be as a professional, as a person here today?
I mean, honestly, like I just want to give a big shout out to like all our other supporting staff, like our office managers, our regional office managers. Brenda and Mary are great role models to look up to. Like you see that when people support our team and support the agents, like you're not in it alone. And that's what I really like about us is that there's no hesitation to call for backup. I always tell people when I meet with them, I was like, you can call me about whatever you want. I was like, I'm not always going to be the person. Like, let's be clear. I was like, I don't know everything, but I'll get you in touch with the right person. So regardless of what it is, you're not going to be told, sorry, that's not me. We're going to get you where you need to go. Yeah. And so that's how I feel about our entire team is if I don't have the answer, I can reach out and there's never any hesitation. Nobody's ever told me, Nicole, you ask too many questions. And I do ask too many questions. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. There are so many places where things overlap and we are constantly,
Yes.
there's so many legal and marketing things. So we're constantly referring back and forth or answering questions as a group and just trying to overall deliver.
Yeah. And then just as a side note, also a shout out to our IT team. Like,
totally.
They're amazing. There was only 3, 4 if you include Grant, if Grant's able to help from title, which is phenomenal. And then just a reminder to everybody, our marketing team comprises me and Mitch, who's your marketing support. We can help you with a lot of things. But we also have 3 graphic designers on staff. And I met with somebody earlier and they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, they can help you for free. So yeah, like we're here and people forget about us. Not like we're not busy, just to be clear.
I need to remember that because I spent way too long trying to put together that silly image that I posted on the mastermind group. Just way too long. I'm like, this doesn't look right. I look like an idiot here. I don't know. Does this look right? And I'm like, I gotta just remember that.
Yeah. We have 3 amazing graphic designers and me as a backup.
Okay.
Awesome. So yeah, we're here.
Well, Nicole, you're a good sport. I appreciate your thinking on your feetness, and thanks for indulging us with and showing up. Last minute because of a cancellation, coming here to be on the podcast. And everybody should know that Nicole is just one of many great resources, but she's one of the best that we have here at RE/MAX Results, and I appreciate working with you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I like working with you too. Pretty neat.
Yeah.
Are you going to get me lunch now?